Coming up today on Retirement Solutions with Bill Smith.
Is if you lack a plan, I believe in having a barbell approach, kind of, where you have money that you shouldn't have any or low risk on, maybe a little bit in the middle, and then maybe quite a bit more risk out over here. The best method or charting strategy or whatever you want to call it can never predict the one thing that I talked about prior to the break, and that's human emotion. These people that have a plan, they're a little more anchored to stay on track. And I would say that the biggest thing is, do you have too much risk? Do you have not enough risk? Will you have opportunity? Do you have money that you could take advantage of a downturn?
Stay with us because Retirement Solutions with Bill Smith starts right now.
Sponsored by W.A. Smith Financial Group, the official wealth management partner of the Cleveland Guardians.
Hello, everybody. In case you don't recognize me, I'm Robin Swoboda. Thank you for joining us for Retirement Solutions with Bill Smith. This is the show dedicated to helping individuals and business owners put all the pieces of the financial puzzle together so they can achieve a work-optional lifestyle. Bill is a husband and father of 3 children. He is the founder and CEO of W.A. Smith Financial Group. He's a retirement income certified professional, a master registered financial consultant. He is the author of 2 books, and he mentors hundreds of advisors all over the United States. He is our host and my friend, Bill Smith, who encouraged me to be myself today.
Thank you. Welcome. And we have what are we? Who's our friend?
Well,
here?
you had a good name for her, but this is
Lady
my
Ethelfled.
hair. Lady Ethelfled. That's it. And if you've been watching the show, you know that I've gone through breast cancer and chemotherapy, and all my radiation is done, and my hair is growing out. And Bill's hair, he just got a haircut, so your hair is high and tight, and so is mine.
Yeah.
And you said, be yourself. And I love that because I just want to encourage women, anybody who's going through cancer, your hair does not define your beauty. And this is beautiful hair. But I would be happy
And I would guess most people may not have noticed this hair that you've been wearing for quite some time.
Right, exactly. So, because it was so, I got this from Jeffrey Paul at Herein Scalp Specialist. But anyway, it's beautiful, but it's fun to be me.
So are you going to demonstrate that for all of our viewers on how
do you want me to put it on?
Are we just going to be ourselves the whole show? How
Absolutely.
About that? Let's do that.
Why would we do it any differently?
Yeah, exactly.
We could have her taken away, or I could pop her on.
It's up to you, Robin.
Well, I don't know. All right. I'll give her. I just had her styled because she was in the back seat of my car. Oh no, she's stuck over here too. So anyway, come on, Lady Ethelrod. What's her name?
Ethelfed.
Ethelfed.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah. So this is very nice because most of the wigs are synthetic, and this is actual human hair, which makes it cost so much. But it's also very cool. So when I would wear it under these lights, ta-da!
Voila!
Is it on straight?
Voila!
I can't.
Wow!
Yeah. So
wow.
Before and after.
That's amazing.
So isn't that something?
What a difference, right?
Yeah.
The technology.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So anyway.
So I was driving down the road, and a thought occurred to me. As I'm looking in my rear view mirror, my side view mirror, and I'm like, why is the windshield? No, I know this seems like an obvious, but think about it. The windshield is so much bigger than, thank you, Matt. The windshield's always so much bigger than the side view mirror, the rear view mirror.
Yeah.
Think about that. Why?
Because you're going forward.
Yeah. It's
Right.
important to see what's ahead of you.
Right. And not behind you.
Not focus on what's behind you.
All right.
Although you want to see what's behind you in the side lanes. I'm not saying all those things aren't important.
Sure.
But when it comes to money, and especially when you look at the next 20 to 30 years of your life, no matter where you're at, whether you're retired now or you're going to be retired, or maybe you're 10 years out, whatever your situation is, you have to kind of take what you've learned from the past, but more importantly, you need to be thinking about what are the risks ahead of you as you look through that windshield, as you move forward.
So what I'm hearing you say too is maybe people look too much at the past. They look at their past mistakes and think, why?
Well, what I find, Robin, is, you've heard the saying, history repeats itself.
Yes.
Well, it may or it may not. You find that there's really just maybe a handful of events in history that you call big events that have defined this country, right?
Right.
And there's really not that many historically, these big events, right?
Right.
We
had the 80s.
And so, so when
I feel like we're living that again.
when you think about that, what I do know for certain, whether history repeats itself or not, I think there's something big will always happen, right?
Right.
But behavior always repeats itself. Human behavior is, so I would argue that the mistakes that people make, like they sell low and they buy high, they tend to repeat themselves. They get in their own way. And so this is why it's so important to have a plan, because especially in times of volatility, I learned that people will stare at their stuff every day. They'll look at every day.
Is that a good idea?
They'll drive themselves into, they get heartburn.
A panic,
right?
yeah.
So I would tell you that, when you think of risk is one thing that we need to pay attention to, okay? It's really important, and I'm not saying that somebody shouldn't be worried about their money if it's going up and down in the market. What I'm saying is if you lack a plan, I believe in having a barbell approach, kind of, where you have money that you shouldn't have any or low risk on, maybe a little bit in the middle, and then maybe quite a bit more risk out over here.
Okay. But that would depend on your age, right?
No, absolutely not.
Really?
Does not depend on your age. Risk does not depend on your age. Risk depends on your situation in terms of your needs, right? What are your needs? How much will you need to draw? And so not only that, what we find is the people who are way over here, they have too much risk. When the market goes down, they have no capital to be able to take advantage of these things that happen. So for example, back in 2008 in the housing crisis, the mortgage meltdown, right? Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers failed because they were so heavily leveraged with their loans that they couldn't, they had nothing in the area of safety to be able to capitalize on all the deals that happen, right? So when one door closes, another one opens, and I can assure you that will always happen. And when it comes to your money, when it comes to an investing, you have to have a plan. Right. And we want to dig a little deeper on risk and a plan and what that looks like.
Right.
But certainly age has very little to do with risk. It has to do with your situation. And if you don't have a plan, you're going to look at it more and be less. You're going to be more. You're going to be pushed and pulled by fear and greed.
Yeah.
And you typically make the same mistakes where you sell low and you buy high.
Yeah.
And then you need to have a plan to keep you on track.
And to get your complimentary consultation for that plan, all you have to do is call them at 800-878-6223 or visit them on the web at wasmithfinancial.com. And we will be right back. With or without my hair, I'm not sure.
Wonder whether you have enough money saved to retire comfortably? Schedule a complimentary consultation now and we'll help determine if retirement is a possibility for you. Call or visit us at wasmithfinancial.com. Are you concerned about the next potential stock market decline? It's time to get a second opinion on your investment strategy. Call us today to get your complimentary consultation or visit us at wasmithfinancial.com.
Welcome back to Retirement Solutions with Bill Smith, and my hair is gone. Now I look like Trey Gowdy. and that's okay. It's a little risky coming on here without hair, but I'm all for it. And we are going to talk more about risks.
Yes.
With our money.
So prior to the break, Robin, we were talking about really investment risk, and when things get volatile, that's when you realize, maybe for those of you who are watching, obviously you're going to know who you are, right? Are you looking at it every day?
Yeah.
Why?
Right.
Don't
do that to
do you
yourself.
have too much money there? Or, the reality is this: our ideal client, Robin, when you think about it, they have. If I think about all of our advisors and all of our clients, right? Certain advisors have different skill sets,
Sure.
right? And when you think about our ideal client, they typically have assets between $500,000 and $10 million. Okay, give you an idea, right?
Yeah.
But more importantly than that is the attitude. I would say that if I think about our ideal client, number one, they're nice. I've talked about that a lot, right? They're nice. They are, they're positive. They're glass half full, not glass half empty. They're the fountain, not the drain. You think about that.
That's a great saying.
They're enlightened about the realities of market volatility. Now, I'm not saying that they all love market volatility, but the reality is if you're in the market and you always think that it's going to go in one direction, it's not.
Yeah.
So, the reality, and nobody has a crystal ball. There isn't a single advisor out there that's going to time the market for you.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Because the smartest strategy, the best algorithm, the best method or charting strategy or whatever you want to call it can never predict the one thing that I talked about prior to the break, and that's human emotion.
Yep.
What drives it?
Yeah.
And it's all driven on fear and greed. And so we see so many people, they act on headline news. News pops up, and the reality of it is what I have witnessed is that these people that have a plan, they're a little more anchored to stay on track. Yeah. And I would say that the biggest thing is, do you have too much risk? Do you have not enough risk? Would you have opportunity? Do you have money that you could take advantage of a downturn? That's how you make money.
Right. Absolutely.
You weather the storm.
Yep.
Yeah, don't sell and try to buy, because if you sell, guess what? You go to the sideline and then you never get back in. And you miss out on some of the best trading days that can make a major difference in the returns in your portfolio. So when you think about our ideal clients, back to that scenario, we have really three kinds of families, and I've talked about this before on the show. Family A is one that says, look, I don't want risk. I want very little to no risk, and then they're okay with that. They've saved enough money that they don't have to take risk if they don't want to, right? Then we have Family B, which is at the other end of that spectrum. Remember I talked about the barbell, right? No risk, some risk, a lot of risk. They're on the other side. They say, okay, we're good with risk. But those people, I would also say, want to have an opportunity so that when that market does go down, they can capitalize on it.
Right.
When things go on sale, you get good companies. You get that. Now, that's how wealth is. That's how a lot of wealth is created, is being able to take advantage of an opportunity when it's in front of you.
Right.
And then there's Family C, which is probably the majority of our clients. I'd guess somewhere around 70%, 70, 75. They're a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And guess what? That comes by design. And that is, I believe that every individual should have some money where they're not all in on it, right? There's so that, when markets get volatile, they're not constantly looking at their account statements or logging onto their account every single day and just worried about it, right? Because they have it all on that roller coaster, right?
Yeah. If you go back to the car thing, that's like looking out the side windows.
Yeah, it really is. That's a great analogy. I mean, if you think about it, in you worry yourself into sickness to the point where you can't even see an opportunity, right? So you need a plan, and you either need to guide yourself and manage yourself, or you need to hire somebody like us who can take the emotion out of it and help you stay on track, because we look for opportunities. We're not driven by that, but we also protect money that needs to be protected. And we develop a plan.
Yeah. Let's talk about one of the risks, and I know it's on everybody's mind right now, and that's inflation.
Big. Yeah. And it's more for some than others, right? If you drive a diesel truck or like I do right now, you know, it costs you a little bit more than if you're putting gasoline in your car.
Right.
I know everybody's buy an electric car, right? Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. But
I remember when people did that and went into debt buying an electric car, or I guess they didn't even have electric cars. And I can't think when, that might have been 2008, 2000, somewhere around when gas was going through the roof.
Yeah, it was back then.
So foolishly, they went into debt to buy a new car, and then the prices came down, and they had a car that...
Debt and leverage is again, when you go back to risk, a lot of people, if you have debt piled on top of too much risk, you're a slave. You rarely have yourself in a position where you have opportunity to take advantage of things. But inflation's important. Inflation affects what you guys spend your money on, and we need to develop a comprehensive income plan for you that helps you make those inflationary adjustments over time. And we should have money that's in a less risk type environment that meets that need for you.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what our process will help you accomplish.
Yeah. And it's your money, it's your future. You are the driver of that car ultimately. And
look through the windshield, not the rear view mirror.
Exactly. And to get your complimentary consultation, you can call W.A. Smith at 800-878-6223 or visit them on the web at wasmithfinancial.com. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about a safe way to own equities.
A safer way.
Safer way. We'll be right back.
Don't miss it. Yeah.
Safer.
Wonder whether you have enough money saved to retire comfortably? Schedule a complimentary consultation now, and we'll help determine if retirement is a possibility for you. Call or visit us at wasmithfinancial.com. Are you concerned about the next potential stock market decline? It's time to get a second opinion on your investment strategy. Call us today to get your complimentary consultation or visit us at wasmithfinancial.com. Welcome to today's Money Board. Robin and I talked a little bit about risk today and how to think about it, but I would like to share a strategy with you called a safer way to own equities. Now, truth be told, that actually, money in equities, can you really call them safe? But I want to walk you through a process that, as part of our Ascend 360 process, that can help take some of the risk out of owning equities. So, when you think of this, somebody asked Warren Buffett his key to success, and he said, be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. You know, Robin and I talked a lot about what moves people to buy and sell, and when things get volatile. It's the headline news, and you know, people like Warren Buffett are waiting for those opportunities for the markets to go down. All right, you know, so what is a safer way to own equities? Well, number one, how disciplined is your investment strategy on when you buy, when you hold, or when you sell? There's so many psychological factors, and as I mentioned, we are not emotionally tied to the strategy. So fundamentally, if it makes sense, we're going to sell. Fundamentally, if it makes sense, we're going to buy. So who is making the portfolio sure your portfolio is good? Big question. Who? Is it somebody who's just selling you something, or is it somebody who's providing a fiduciary responsibility to you, independent research, no broker-dealer involved, no inventory of stocks, no involvement in underwriting? Think about that. if you're getting advice from a firm or a broker-dealer who's involved in some of these things, they have a financial incentive to recommend their stocks that they're recommending. We are completely independent. We are not tied to any of that. Fidelity Investments is our custodian and totally independent. That's the first thing that's critically important. In other words, who is rating your stocks, buy, hold, or sell, and do they have your best interest or vested interest? Do they have a vested interest in your success? All right, I talk about a financial plan. The foundation is income. The investments are just one piece, but I think most people think that the investments are the entire plan. So we have Ascend 360, and within that investment piece, the walls, right? We walk through, our team walks through a 6-step process. Step number 1, forecast of the economy, interest rates, industry. Number 2, we look at a growth analysis. And again, this is all part of Ascend 360. Financial strength analysis, qualitative management analysis. What's the management team look like? Risk analysis to determine the floor of the price of the equity. And then final is a valuation analysis that sets a 12-month target price for a stock and guess what? When it hits it, we're either going to sell it or reassess it. Okay, so we have a process. It's part of Ascend 360. I know that was a lot. What you really need to do is get a second opinion. All you got to do is give me a call, set up that complimentary consultation. First step of the process is discovery. 800-878-6223, or visit me online, wasmithfinancial.com. Robin?
Thank you, Bill. Tax Talk coming up next.
Wonder whether you have enough money saved to retire comfortably? Schedule a complimentary consultation now and we'll help determine if retirement is a possibility for you. Call or visit us at wasmithfinancial.com. Are you concerned about the next potential stock market decline? It's time to get a second opinion on your investment strategy. Call us today to get your complimentary consultation or visit us at wasmithfinancial.com. Welcome to Tax Talk. Joining me, the man with the plan, the tax guy. We call him a lot, the tax guy, Jerry Massasak, CPA. You know, we want to answer your questions here on Tax Talk. I want you to go to taxtalkquestions.com, and I want you to submit your question every week on Tax Talk. We're going to share a popular question that we see or we get, and likely you may be dealing with some of these. And so, Jerry, welcome out.
Thank you, Bill.
Talk, as always.
Love it.
You know, I know you love taxes, and this is a big one. This first one that I'm going to, this is going to be the first of many questions that we've started to compile and see. But we see this a lot. We've made our contributions to our IRAs, and they've since found out that we cannot deduct them from our taxes. That could also include maybe somebody contributing to a Roth IRA, and then they find out, ooh, we made too much.
Yep.
Okay, what say you?
So what can you do? So here are your options. You can do a recharacterization. You could take the money out for sure, so it can come back to you. But if you say, hey, I want something from a tax deferred standpoint, well, you can recharacterize it. Non-deductible IRA. If you did a deductible IRA or a Roth, you could recharacterize to a deductible IRA if you'd like to. And then if it's a non-deductible, you can go back and convert it to a Roth at a later time, kind of a backdoor Roth IRA scenario.
Oh, that's great. So here's the key. And again, we've talked about this many times. I mean, you really need to get a plan in place. We talk about Ascend 360 on the show constantly. And so Jerry leads our team in the tax planning department. A lot of times we find is because somebody doesn't have a comprehensive, I would tell you this, if we had a plan in place for somebody, this wouldn't happen.
We would have already known it.
They would have already known it. The plan would have proactively told them, look, this is how you need to save. then it also brings into the picture 401ks, right? Because individuals, a lot of times a 401k gives individuals an opportunity.
Absolutely. So
pre-tax, after-tax, all of that.
All of that kind of stuff as well. And it could make something non-deductible or deductible depending on what you're doing outside of your company 401k.
So I think the bottom line is if you have a question, you need to get your questions answered. It's real easy to do. I want you to send them to us, taxtalkquestions.com, and submit your question, and we may have your question on next week's show. So submit them in. But more importantly, what I really want you to do is you need to get a consultation as part of our Ascend 360 process. Tax planning is a huge piece of wealth management. Very easy to do. Come in and sit down with us. 800-878-6223. You'll get to see Jerry's smiling face. You get some good jokes probably from him when he comes in.
I got plenty, Bill.
All right. Or you can do like most people, just visit me online, wasmithfinancial.com. Wonder whether you have enough money saved to retire comfortably? Schedule a complimentary consultation now and we'll help determine if retirement is a possibility for you. Call or visit us at wasmithfinancial.com. Are you concerned about the next potential stock market decline? It's time to get a second opinion on your investment strategy. Call us today to get your complimentary consultation or visit us at wasmithfinancial.com.
Welcome back, everybody. One of the things that I love about you, Bill, is that you're always looking through that windshield and looking forward. And to be specific here, you have refined the plan that you offer.
Well, it's a process more than anything. So over the past 27 years, my team and I have developed and refined a process. We've talked about retirement tune-up before. You know, you've heard us talk about that. It's another level now that we have developed and refined. It includes the tax in it and the estate planning at a higher level. We call it Ascend 360, and it's a comprehensive 4-step process. You need to have a process, and that's what sets us apart from everybody else, is knowing where there needs to be a process in place for all of you. The first step of that process is discovery. That's that complimentary meeting.
Yes.
It's going to help paint your pictures, to help you put the pieces of that puzzle together and help us advise you on what parts of the process to engage to best help you so that it can take you to the next level.
Yes.
Very powerful. Ascend 360, trademarked. We own it.
Love it.
Get it.
And it is time for us to wrap things up, but let Bill's team help you in putting all the pieces of your financial puzzle together. Call toll-free 800-878-6223. Go online, wasmithfinancial.com, to schedule your complimentary consultation. Thanks for being with us today. I'm Robin Swoboda.
And I'm Bill Smith. We'll see you again next week right here on Retirement Solutions.